Hey guys, this is Eric with Food Plot Solutions, and on today's video we're going to be discussing disc versus tiller, which one is right for you, so stay tuned. So you're in the market for a tiller or a disc. Deciding between the two can be a little daunting, but in this video I'm going to kind of show you and go over here with you why and what I would choose and how I go about deciding it. Now, we have a disc out here in this field right now because this plot is usually relatively pretty rocky, and that is one of the big deciding factors for me. There's really two criteria deciding a disc versus a tiller, in my opinion, and that's going to be how technical your plots are and what type of soil or soil debris you're likely going to be working with. So as far as technical plots, what I mean with that is, are your plots, like a big rectangle like this, pretty basic, ovals, anything like that, basic plots, easy, that you're going to have enough room to drop this disc and do a good pass. This only work when you get some momentum with them. All right, you don't have to go 100 miles an hour, but you got to have some room to go with it for it to work. Whereas a tiller, you simply turn the PTO on and you can really kind of cut out, per se, a plot. All right, so a disc is going to be a little less desirable on technical plots. However, when it comes to the second criteria, debris, a disc is going to be far superior. Discs will handle rocks and debris a lot better because these things are pretty indestructible for the most part. A tiller, on the other hand, is going to be a little more sensitive, but the trade-off between these two is going to be surface finish. A tiller will almost certainly always win the surface finish game as far as speed and quality. Okay, a tiller just does a better job. Even right off the bat, even in this type of debris, a tiller will do a better job than this disc will. But we will show you that today and actually give you a side-by-side comparison on what it truly looks like. Now, on a plot like this where we got some grasses growing, it's likely going to take me at least 2 passes with this disc to get any sort of action going on, but I'm going to show you that today and we'll take a look at it. Deciding between these two we'll talk about after the fact, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so we just got done tilling half of this little plot here and disking the other half, and I did this so you guys could see an example of what the surface finish is going to be when you're done. Now this is one pass with a disc, and this is going to be one pass with a tiller, and this will be 2 passes because we kind of overlapped here on this edge. But you can see, look at how much residue is left with the disc versus the tiller. So it does a lot better job with residue. It also, if you look, see how lumpy it is? This isn't really ready to plant into. Now obviously you're probably not going to disc just one time and plant, but this is kind of the point. This is only one pass, remember, on the tiller. So it took about the same time. And look at that surface finish. You can kind of see, you could easily seed into that and have a good plot. That, you're not going to have a good plot seeding into that. So you can kind of tell with the tiller, with the tiller and with the disc, that the disc is going to take you longer, and that's one of the biggest drawbacks with it. But look at all the rocks. You can see all these little rocks and stuff. I had no issues with the disc with it, okay? With the tiller, you're going to bust the tine here and there, and that's something that I want you to keep in mind when you're purchasing a tiller. I would encourage you to buy a new one because you're going to have a warranty with it. They're probably not going to necessarily cover the tines, but let's say a gearbox blows up on you, chain breaks, etc. It should be covered, alright? So I would encourage you to buy a new tiller. Used tillers, I think, are just way too risky unless you know the whole history on it. But anyways, guys, that's really the difference between a disc and a tiller. I hope this is a good video for you to kind of see the real difference. By the way, this is a forward rotation tiller. That's the only one I would buy for plots. If you're going to do plots, get a forward rotation. You can see one pass, you can seed into that. You don't need to do 3 or 4. That's one pass. I mean, honestly, when we get over to 2, this is where we kind of overlapped. You can't even really tell. It's hard to even tell a difference. So, guys, that's the disc and the tiller. Good luck with your decision and have a great season. Thank you very much. foodplotsolutions.com.